Muted, Scott.
Just go to the GLMV website. There's a link to it right there.
Yeah, so the Trinell Finance Group will donate $500, and I think everybody else said that they would do $20 each or whatever you feel is appropriate for your financial security, whatever on your heart. And you probably saw the great lunches that are being provided to the healthcare workers. And so thank you, Scott, for coordinating that. That's awesome. I know that's appreciated. So it's kind of a double whammy. We'll get some promotion out there. Ray is clean shaven and looking good. And some healthcare workers will get fed and know that they're appreciated during these challenging times. So thanks everybody for going to the GLMV Chamber website, clicking on that, and then let's everybody donate $20. Our goal is to get to 1,000. We should easily, if everybody just does $20, get to 1,000 really fast. You're at 12,500 and you want to get to 25,000.
Our goal is 25,000. I got to thank Carol. She's the one that's been coordinating most of it and getting there and taking pictures and stuff. So, but I'll tell you, the hospital and the firemen and the police been greatly appreciated. It's nice to do. We're glad to be able to facilitate it for them.
Yeah. Surprised you didn't cut his throat.
It didn't cut his it was an electric shaver, and he had a little guard on there, so I really didn't get super close. It was like 1/8 of an inch away, and then he went home and finished the shave on his own. So I did not cut his throat, but
yeah, he only cut me 4 or 5 times.
Oh, come on, Ray. Come on, Ray. All right, Cody.
Look, I can't believe you couldn't finish a simple job like that. A simple thing like shaving. I can't believe you couldn't finish it.
Rock was very gentle, and it only took me 2 months to grow that, so we can do this every 2 months.
Well,
wait. This is just getting weird now. This is just getting weird. We're going to move away from the beard shaving, men shaving men. We're going to get focused on our day ahead here and crushing it here at Freedom One. So good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Cody. Thank you for saving me.
Carol did post in the chat the link to the GoFundMe. We've so far raised $770 to go to that fund. So thank you for all of you who have donated already. There's a long list here I see of names, part of this group. So thanks a lot for all of you who have generously done that. If you want to do that, you can do it to continue to feed the heroes out there, which is absolutely amazing. So I hope everybody's having an awesome day. Just some housekeeping stuff. If you jump on at 7:15 and get into Freedom One, we're doing breakout rooms in the beginning, and we're also doing breakout rooms in the end. So a great way to just get connected with all of us here in a deeper level. So take advantage of that time to continue to network with one another in a small group fashion. Have had a lot of really good feedback on the breakout rooms and connecting with people. So we want you to continue to stay connected and stay in community with one another so that we can continue to help each other grow each other's businesses, which is absolutely what this is all about. I've been having a lot of conversations with people, and I'm in part of a president's group, and we were talking to my president's group, and something hit me, and it just, so much is going on right now that our focus is directed and pulled on what's happening right now, right? And what's happening right now, there's a lot of negative emotions that are involved in going on with all this COVID in place, right? You have people that are lenient, you have people that are really cautious, you got people in between, and it's really messing with people of being disconnected and away from people. And what I'm noticing is through those conversations, when we're focusing on the present, what's happening is the negativity is continuing to creep in. And what I want to encourage all of you to do is, what is that thing that you're focused on in the future that you're working towards? It's got to be something that's exciting and energizing to keep your energy and focus high. Because if we just stay stuck in the present, it's just a bad place to be for a lot of us. And we got to refocus our energy and our efforts on what we're building towards. We're all looking to grow each other's businesses and impact people. And we gotta do that and get them excited and out of what we are living in, and that is history, in this very unprecedented time of what's going on. So some positive news as we slowly start to open up the economy, but what are you focusing on? That's the question. What are you focusing on in the future and building towards? I want you to think about and answer that question, not here today, but that's what I want. That's what I want to open up with and leave you with. If you answer that question and ponder it over Memorial Day weekend, a long weekend coming up here, hope everybody's got some fun, exciting plans and that the weather will cooperate for all of us. But a lot of good stuff going on. So does anybody have, if you have a win, so our next up is we're going to ask you to share a win. If you have an event, we ask that you put that on the Freedom One Facebook page. We're not going to share events here today, but I want to hear about wins of your business and people that you're impacting. Message me in the chat, and I'll make sure that I call on you. And while I'm waiting for some of those people that want to share a win come in, it was John Stringer's birthday yesterday. Where's John?
Hey, John.
John's on here somewhere.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
John,
handsome.
how old are you, John?
I'm no older than I was, maybe one day older than I was yesterday.
Awesome.
Well, you
Awesome.
look good, my friend. You keep putting the miles on. You look good.
Hey,
Yeah,
Cody,
thank
got a quick announcement while everybody's feeding the chat there, giving you ideas. There's a bank that made me aware they still have PPP money. So if you are looking to fill out an application to get the PPP money from the CARES Act, email me and I'll connect you with the president of the bank. And they tell me they still have money to give out and they're just looking for businesses. So let me know.
Awesome. Great tip, Rock. Thanks for sharing that. Bruce, you got a win you want to share? Bruce Immelblau?
Sure. So I just posted in the comments. Got a 2-camera shoot today. It's with 2 4K cameras, which we actually have 2 4K cameras, and it's with Bosch and Lomb. So they're launching a new product, and so we're talking to a local doctor here. So it's gonna be interesting.
Awesome.
It's gonna be my first video shoot outside of the house in like a month. So that's
Well,
interesting.
glad you're getting out.
So Cody, let's
All right.
have a new rule. If you're going to announce something that you're excited about, you have to smile. So Bruce, just show us some teeth and smile. Act excited to be here, brother.
Yeah, I know. I'm usually, my wife comments on that as well. When I do an Instagram promo, she says I look mean.
Just smile. Pretend for 1 hour. Just pretend like you like being around us. That's all we ask. When you hit leave, you can go be crabby. Who's next?
Matt Verifato.
Matt, smile.
Hey,
Rock
I'm
it,
smiling.
baby.
Awesome news because I got a brand new coaching client from the free workshops I just did, and that session is going to happen tomorrow. So I'm very excited that that's happening and looking forward to it. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Awesome.
Congrats, Matt.
Thanks.
Love it. John Stringer, you got a win?
Yes, I do. I really want to give a shout out to Kim for helping me be another super spreader of happiness.
Awesome.
My project, my campaign of spreading happiness throughout the county is really taken off. I've raised almost $100 on this campaign. I'd like to get to 400 to get another 100 or so yard signs out there. So please help me out on that mission. I know we're all donating to all kinds of different things, but I think this is a valuable tool and a valuable thing to start shifting attitudes. Just like Cody was saying, we need to be more positive and we need to incite happiness. And if you just wave to people, just wave, and you start feeling it. You start feeling the happiness. It comes back to you. So as much as you give, you'll get twice back.
So how do
Believe
we give to you? How do we give to you, John? Close the sale. I love what you're doing.
Okay,
Go to
I'm gonna
Bruce.
post. I'm gonna post it soon here. I'm gonna post a link where you could donate.
Awesome.
Perfect. All right, we got 2 more wins. I got 2 more wins to share, and then we're going to keep moving on. Corey?
Yeah, good morning. So I had a project that I was working on back in March, and I was launching it like literally days before this whole pandemic thing and the safer at home orders hit. And I was really bummed about that. I have been able to salvage that project. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much better than it was originally. And I owe you guys a little bit of a thank you for that, because I decided to make it a collaborative project with a bunch of other coaches that I know. And it's just like everything is falling into place so perfectly. I'm so excited to be able to work on this with other people, which is giving me great energy and great big smile, but also is helping bring up a lot of other people in their energy and kind of salvaging things that they were working on too. So the coaches panel was what gave me the idea to work with other people. So I appreciate that, and can't wait to share more of that with everyone as it unfolds.
Awesome. Awesome. Love it.
Thanks, Corey. All right, last one, Randy Wright.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, my win was I picked up 3 pretty big clients this week, so I was very excited about that. I got a construction company, a rather large church, and a hospital up in Waukegan. So that was really exciting for me.
Great job. Good hustle.
Congratulations.
Love it.
Thanks. Thanks.
All right. Again, if you have an event that you want to share, you didn't share, the Freedom One Facebook page is a great way to do that. You can also leverage the chat feature here in Zoom to be posting who you are and your contact information, because if there's new people here, we want to make sure that we're getting connected with each other. The breakout rooms at the end are random, so we're not assigning anybody specifically, we're just doing it at random. So post your contact information in the Zoom chat. You can post your events, and we also encourage you to post them online at the Freedom One Facebook page. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bruce. We got our Freedom One Business Showcase, and this is Paul Fiorelli for this month, and we are highlighting the We Are Open and all the signs that you can pick up for him free of charge, and he can help you get your business back open. So Bruce, you want to share that quick video with everybody, please?
Thank you, Bruce. That was awesome.
Awesome.
Now,
Hey, we got a couple of round of applause tonight.
last week you heard Rock playing the guitar in the video. You didn't know he could play piano and xylophone too.
Cody, am I up?
Yeah, you're up, Rock.
Okay, sounds good. So who's Cody? Help me out because you're better at this than I am. Who's new here to Freedom One this morning? Do we have some new folks that want to do a shout out? Cody, do you see anybody new that's shy?
There was one gentleman on here I saw, Dan. I don't know where he went.
He is not new, but he's in the house.
He's in the house.
Hello, Keaton, Texas.
I do want to. I want to give a shout out to Patty Blakesley. So Patty invited a lady, Linda Lamb, who reached out to me and was requesting the information. She's not on with us today, but Patty, just want to give you a big shout out for passing on the word. To continue to connect and grow the group. Really appreciate that. And Patty, you did your business share not too long ago, and you had a free promotion going on. What I want to do is, if you invite somebody new, give you the opportunity to just talk and introduce your business and any promotion that you got going on. So Patty, do you want to share that with the group quick?
Sure. This is standard for me. I do 2 complimentary coaching sessions with anyone that's interested in improving their business or focusing on goals in their life. And end result of that is not necessarily that I become your coach, but it may point you in a direction that you want to go, and people have found it valuable. So I'll put my information in the chat, and thank you, Cody.
You're welcome. Thank you, Patty.
Awesome. So anybody else want to just, anybody? So the cool part is if we were in person and you were to talk, it would be like really disruptive. But if you want to put stuff in the chat and let people know what you have going on, now it's time to do it. So you can, I can be talking and you can be chatting, and there's no fines or anything like that. Actually, your phone can go off, and if you're muted, I'm good with it. So let's talk about the smoothie. So we talked about, we've done 24/7 for a long time. And the whole like concept was that our group at one point was 100 folks, and we want to get 100 really successful, profit-minded business owners here on this Zoom call. And we'll eventually get back to meeting in person in some fashion and some regularity. I don't know what that looks like. But the advantage that we had is we could get through 100 people or 60 people, a lot of people, because we would do 24 words in 7 seconds. And it forced you to consolidate what your value proposition was and who you were looking for. And it really, really worked out well. It was stressful, is stressful for new people. But once you get it down, it's just very confidence inspiring, and it's very powerful. So what we've done as a part of this Zoom is we've talked about having smoothies together. And the whole concept of a smoothie is that you're doing a 24/7, but you're packaging it a little bit differently. Cody, help me with the acronym, what the acronym SMOOTHIE stands for. If everybody writes this down, so when we go into our breakout rooms, you can make sure that you are using each ingredient of the smoothie as a part of your proposition to get people to get you new clients so you can become profitable. So Cody, take it from there, if you will.
Yep. So it's simple, memorable, outstanding, outperforming, thorough, happy, that's in the delivery, smiling when you deliver it, intentional, and excellent. We had to put the IE on there, and I was told that smoothie is with a Y, not an IE. So we get to do it how we want to do it here.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you. Thank you. So that's awesome. So let me, go ahead, Cody.
We have the card that we posted. We have the card, the smoothie card that we posted in chat, which is the format of how you can craft that message, right? So there's 3 simple lines that you can craft that message to give you a guideline to help people understand who you're looking to connect with and what you're delivering.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you, Cody. So just direct people to the contact information in the chat. Just be chatting with each other. So are we ready for our business share? We have Michael and Dale, approximately 7.5 minutes here. And if I'm not mistaken, so I'm going to turn it over to you gentlemen.
All right. Dale's not here with us today. I'm Mike Dembski. I'm here. I'll be doing the share. Everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll share my screen here with you real quick. The name of our store is Melaleuca. It says in responsibly manufacturing products that promote health and wellness. We do over $2 billion in annual sales, and we're a Better Business Bureau accredited business. And the concept for our store is simple. We want the same dollars, just better spent. Just take the same money that you're normally spending at the store and try a different brand. We guarantee that we have higher quality and a better value, better value for what you're buying. It's better than Whole Foods quality product, but at a Walmart price point. Safer for your home and better for the environment. And we're competing in major brands up here: performance and supplements, nutritional, health and foods, weight loss, medicine cabinet, personal care, skincare, cosmetics, and home cleaning products. And the big reason we invite people to switch brands is because when you're shopping at a grocery store, it's not really a value. 63% of what you're paying for adds no value at all. It's water and or filler. Because of the high overhead involved. You have to pay for distribution, marketing, retail space, advertising, all this, and one that's not even on there that takes up a ton of money is shareholders. So most of that product is going to be water and filler. But it's more problematic than just even that, because I'm sure a lot of these chemicals here at the top must look familiar to you because they're in everything. They're in some version of your cleaning products. They're in your, bath and body products. Formaldehyde, that's in everything. That's going to be in your toothpaste. It's in soaps. It's in like things that you would normally use on your body. And the reason they have to put formaldehyde in everything is because it's a great stabilizer. It takes about 6 months to a year or more for store-made products to make it to a shelf. They sit in a warehouse for a long time, and so they have to have this as a stabilizer to keep them from breaking down. And they've even successfully lobbied so they don't even have to call it formaldehyde anymore. They can call it 19 different things. But the thing is, all of these chemicals have been tested repeatedly and found to be toxic in human beings and for the environment. In fact, according to the State of the World, we do more damage to our oceans every year just from the runoff of common household cleaning products than all the oil spills put together. It's kind of a no-brainer when you think about it. I mean, think about just how many households in Libertyville alone are going to be using bleach every day. And when you in bleach, if you read the back of the container, is so toxic that it's not even supposed to touch your skin. You can't even breathe it in. Yet when we dump it down the drain, it doesn't just go to chemical heaven. It's going somewhere, and that somewhere is our water. It's going into our lakes, rivers, and oceans. And like an oil spill, you can clean up, because an oil, as damaging as it is, it rises to the surface. We can find it and clean it up. This stuff, you can't clean it up. When we do damage because of dumping these chemicals, the damage is irreversible. And in human beings, it's been linked to all kinds of health problems, respiratory problems, migraines, skin irritation, cancer even. This is a study it was not done by our company. It was a 20-year independent lung study. It was 9 different countries participated in this, 28 top researchers. It's peer-reviewed and published in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine. And it shows conclusively that using a commercial cleaning product as much as once a day, or a national brand, is as bad for your lungs as smoking a pack a day. And if they wasn't so well researched, I wouldn't even believe that myself. That sounds kind of crazy, but if you look at the stats, lung cancer among non-smokers has gone up by about 400% in recent years. And I don't think it's a mystery because of this. And so what we just invite people to do is, we just say, why take that risk? Why take the risk of exposing your family and people that are around you to something that's going to be that harmful? We offer plant-derived, biodegradable ingredients, no harsh, harmful chemicals, time-tested formulations that work better. I mean, our formulation is literally, we guarantee, will outperform anything you can buy in a grocery store, and it's more affordable. And I guess that's the thing, is like a lot of places will, and I think there are some great companies out there too, don't get me wrong. A lot of companies, that make, just because a product is natural doesn't mean that it's going to work well, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be affordable. And that's where I think our company really shines, in that we do third-party research to make sure that everything we release is going to compete and outperform what you can buy in a grocery store, but also we make sure that it is affordable, that it is at a price point similar to what you pay at Walmart. And that's why we have a documented 96% retention rate among our customers, because people like that value. They keep coming back time and time again. I'll give you an example. I'm going to skip forward here, but like if you just in looking at an ounce-to-ounce comparison, like here's an example of our tub and tile, which is, on the surface that might look more expensive because one bottle is $5.69, and at Walmart you're going to pay $2.97 for a 32-ounce bottle. But what you're not seeing is that you're going to get 96 ounces or 6 spray bottles out of this one container, and that's going to be a much better rate than paying $8.91 for the same amount you're going to buy at Walmart. Same with our laundry detergent. Outperforms Tide, outperforms every major brand, but you get 96 full wash loads savings. And it's kind of a scam because they're using Tide. It only 96 loads, whenever they advertise that, it only applies to medium loads. It doesn't apply to full loads, and that's if you fill it to the little line. And most people, I would argue, most people don't. Most people fill it to the, fill the entire cap and dump it in. And if you do that, you're paying about $74.41 to do 96 loads with Tide. We have a pump that measures out exactly. You only need 2 teaspoons of our cleaner, which is amazing because not only does it save plastic, but it saves you money because it measures out exactly how much you need to use per use. And let me know if I'm going long on time here. I apologize if I get too long. One other thing I'll talk about briefly is our...
You got 3 minutes. You're doing fine.
I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate it. One of the problems is we need minerals in our diet, and today's soils are mineral deficient. Requires over 70 servings of spinach today to get the same nutritional value you find in 1 serving from 1949. That's according to the USDA. Okay, and so you need a supplement if you're going to get minerals. There's just no way around it. The problem with just about every supplement, well, really every other supplement in the world today, is that mineral supplements come from mineral salts. And it's a little bit, I mean, in layman's terms, it's kind of like dirt. It's basically, it's the mineral, but the problem is our bodies aren't designed to process minerals in that way. We're supposed to get them from plants. Plants do their magic to them, and that's how we are. And you can look, you can read this online, it's everywhere. Mineral salts, taking supplements has been long considered to be kind of a waste of time because we need them, but they just don't work for us because they crystallize in our intestine because they're just not digestible. They're not absorbable by our body. And because we have one thing that's kind of the invisible killer. You don't really think about how much the lack of minerals has contributed to all these different health problems, because we have to have the proper nutrition for our bodies to function properly. And we're seeing diabetes and all kinds of weight gain at earlier and earlier ages. Because even eating a passive diet in the 50s, you had a lot more mineral content in your food than we do now. And so what we did was we developed, our scientists developed a process called Oligo, which basically mimics the way in which a plant digests what a plant will do to minerals to make them absorbable. So we compound it with different fibers and different proteins. We have white paper studies and human studies on this. And we can show the only thing that can compete with us in terms of getting minerals into the body is literally getting an IV in a hospital. That's how potent this supplement is. And we did a couple major tests. We did one in Freiburg, Germany, and one in Sterling, Ohio. We picked those places because they had the type of technology to test this specifically. And see, the thing about it is, this is huge. Whenever we ask people not to change anything about their diet, just take the supplement. And most studies that claim results, you'll see test subjects lived in a lab, test subjects had regimented diet and exercise. And of course, if you're serious, it begs the question, well, was it your supplement or was it this insane lifestyle you were living while you were taking it? And we can show in 1 hour, we can lower blood sugar spikes by 27.4%. After 12 weeks, 44.3%. I'm sorry.
So Mike, let me just interrupt you because it's 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Give us a way to connect with you or do your call to action. We want this to be a sales presentation for you. So share with us how we'll connect with you, or how you sit down with someone for 15 minutes. Talk to us a little bit about that very quickly, please.
Oh, sure. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I put my phone number in the chat. Give me a call or send me a text. I'd be happy to sit down. The kind of people I'm looking for are families that have young kids or people who have different kinds of health problems like high blood pressure, diabetes. Any of these people I'm happy to connect with. So just send me a text or give me a call. I would be happy to chat with you about what kind of products we offer, and any referrals would be great. And thank you very much.
Great. Good job, Mike. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was great. So Scott, are you ready to tell us some great news about the GLMV Chamber of Commerce and the great work, excuse me, the great work that you're doing? You may be muted, so you have to unmute yourself.
Well, since Governor Pritzker has kind of changed the playing field a little bit, I'm going to be spending most of my time today talking to our 4 villages to find out exactly how they plan on rolling out these plans, particularly with the restaurants. It's going to be an interesting situation. I know we've had some of our restaurants that have wanted the ability to expand their outdoor dining. So we need to figure that out. So in each village is a little bit different. So I'm going to be working with all 4 of them today. I talked to John Petrillo from Vernon Hills last night, and actually going to talk with Brian Grano from Mickey Finn's at 9 o'clock today, get his input on some of this stuff. So it's going to be different. Barbershops and some of these other places are going to be able to open, so we need to set some guidelines on how that works, and each village is going to be a little bit different on how they work. So that's kind of a big thing. I mentioned when we were in that breakout group that I've been asked to be on a task force with the SBDC and Lake County Partners to help small businesses. And the county has gotten, it's kind of a mixed group of county people, small businesses, SBDC, ourselves, a couple other chambers. And what we're going to try to do is figure out what's the best way we can support our small businesses. The county has got a fund of $122 million, and we need to find a way that we can get that to our small businesses in the most judicious way. So we'll be working on that. We're going to meet weekly on trying to put that program together. We have a happy hour today. We're going to be Karen's going to be at the Christoulis's Greek restaurant, so we'll have cocktails with Karen today at 4 o'clock. So join that group. That's been a lot of fun. I think next week we're actually going to do some bingo. So we're trying to do something light and fun once a week to just kind of keep everybody together, and it seems to be working out real well. But you know, our main focus is to find ways we can support you guys. So if there's things that you've been thinking about that are important to your business, I'd like to know about them. So send them, text them to me, email them to me, give me a call. I'm trying to collect a lot of that information because this task force is very interested in what small business is thinking. And I think small businesses kind of gotten the short end of the stick on this thing because we've allowed the bigger businesses to be open, and we need to get it on a level playing field so that they can participate, be open their doors, get profitable. Because as I said before, my fear is that we'll lose 25% of our small businesses because of this pandemic. So I do have a little quote for you for Memorial Day, and it goes this way. It says, heroism doesn't always happen in a burst of glory. Sometimes small triumphs and large hearts change the course of history. Thanks, everyone. Be safe.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. All right, next up we got Steve from Market Sparks going to be sharing our marketing minute with us here today.
Thanks, Cody. Gonna share my screen here. So in this marketing minute or minutes, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of reviews and how this can drive revenue for your business, or possibly even hurt. So it really all starts with having some place for customers to leave you a review. And that means you really need to, remember a couple of weeks ago, I talked about all the different business directory listings that are out there. So, you know, the primary place you really need to have your business listed is on Google, Facebook business page. And, you know, particularly if you're a restaurant, Yelp's really important. If you're a doctor, maybe Health Grades, there's all different ones, but you really want to get your business directory listed. I'm sorry? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you're up. We can hear you.
So I'm going to talk to you about 7 different ways that reviews can impact your business. First, social proof drives purchases. Buying decisions are made online. You've heard me say that before. We're more likely to make a purchase if others around us, even total strangers, agree that it's a good decision. So today, online reviews are the biggest source of social proof, and they have a clear impact on sales. Number 2, reviews make you more visible. Most shoppers are going to look on search engines like Google or Facebook when deciding what to buy. And these websites really all have their own unique ways of indexing and surfacing content. But they all value original and fresh content. And one of the greatest ways to get fresh content is to get new reviews. Number 3, reviews make you look trustworthy. You can build significant trust and credibility from a steady stream of positive reviews. Typically, anything less than a 4-star average can really crush your chance at success there. Number 4, reviews expand the conversation about your business. So very good reviews or bad reviews have a way of quickly spreading. So you really want to encourage your consumers to leave your review, particularly the ones that had a good experience with you. Number 5, reviews are increasingly essential to the decision-making process. Almost 2/3 of shoppers think that online reviews are an essential part of the decision-making process. 63% of consumers will not do business with a business if there are too few or too many negative reviews. Number 6, reviews have a clear impact on sales. Case studies in theory can be misleading, but reality doesn't always follow a logic, and there's always outliers. But on average, an increase in just a half-star rating for your business leads to about a 10% increase in revenue. Really important. Number 7, reviews provide open communication with the customer. More than simply posting reviews, consumers really expect you to respond to their reviews, both positive and negative. And it's really critical to address negative reviews within hours, not days. So then how do you go about getting reviews? The reason that most businesses—
Cody, do we have time to go through all this? I thought this was going to be a quick minute. It feels like, is this the ultimate resource?
Well, I thought I had 2 minutes, but sorry if I went on. You got to ask for reviews.
Got it.
All right. So, Steve, we appreciate you sharing your marketing minute. There's a lot of valuable information
there's
for
a lot
us
of good stuff
so that we can continue to grow our business. So we do appreciate you and sharing all that stuff. Our ultimate resource is up next, and today we have Jordan Bradford who's going to be leading us with that.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a great week here. So I'm doing our ultimate resource today, and I thought with everything that has happened here in the last 7 weeks or so, I thought it'd be fun to go over some takeaways that I had from the ESPN's documentary series called The Last Dance. So I'm going to talk about how that relates to sales and business, because I want to tie this back to what our main objective here is, which is for all of us to become wildly successful and profitable here. But I do have a caveat before I start this, which is there will be some spoilers. So if you weren't around in the 90s, or you have never heard of Michael Jordan, I'm sorry, but you're going to get the end of the story, or a little bit of the end of the story here before you may want to. But in line with Michael Jordan's 6 NBA championships, I have 6 main takeaways that I want to go through with you guys here. So the first takeaway that I got from the Last Dance documentary series was that winning comes above all else. So winning is above all else. And that is different from winning at all costs. So the reason that I say that's different is because winning above all else is your mindset of putting winning at the top of your goal list. So we all have goals. We have individual goals. We have team goals. We have family goals. But the goal at the top of that list needs to be winning at whatever it is that you're doing. And that's what Michael Jordan really personified in his career in the NBA, as well as his post-basketball career running businesses, is that winning has to be the primary focus. The reason it's not winning at all costs is because there are no shortcuts and there's no cheating, right? There's stories in history of sports teams that cheated and business people that have cheated, and they all end the same way, right? They all end in disgrace. You've got the all-time Major League Baseball hit king is Pete Rose, but because he gambled in baseball while he was a manager and as a player as well, he's not allowed in the Hall of Fame. He has a permanent stain on his record because he did something that was outside of the rules. So there's a big difference between winning, being above all else, and winning at all costs. And this brings about a lot of criticism for people. So you will face a ton of criticism if your mentality is you're going to win above all else. There are going to be people who don't want you to win, because if you win, they perceive that they have to have lost for you to win. Just be aware that in that mindset, you are going to have doubters and people who are trying to push against you. That's my first takeaway. The second takeaway is that Michael Jordan wanted to crush his opponents. He didn't just want to win a game, he wanted to crush his opponents. He never went into a game and said, I would be content just winning, just winning alone. He wanted to show everybody that had paid money to come see him that he was the absolute best. And the way that he could do that was he could go up against some of the other best players in basketball, whether that was Charles Barkley or Magic Johnson or Isaiah Thomas, and he wanted to show the world, I am so much better than this other person. I'm going to crush this person in this competition, and you are never going to use their name and my name in the same sentence. I want to be the man, the person who's on top. And that is a mindset that a lot of us don't always have. We don't typically have that type of winner take all mindset, but it's something that I think is really beneficial in business to be able to have that killer instinct. So that's my number 2 takeaway. The third one here is that Michael held a lot of grudges, and there is some power in there. So a lot of times people view some of the things that Michael did, as well as things that people do in our day-to-day lives, as petty, right? You probably know somebody who fights over everything, right? You're driving to a restaurant. Well, prior to all of this, you were driving to a restaurant, and your friend in your car says, "Oh, if you turn right, it's quicker than going straight," right? You've probably all done that or known somebody who's always said, and it's a small thing, but if you tell someone, hey, if you turn right, it's going to be quicker, you want to make sure that it's quicker going right because you want to win. It's a small thing, but you have to want to win at everything you do. And one of the coolest examples in that documentary is the story of LaBradford Smith. So none of you have probably heard of him unless you saw the documentary. You know exactly who he is. But if you haven't seen it, you probably are like, who is LaBradford Smith? Well, he just happened to have a career night against Michael Jordan on the front end of a back-to-back against the Bulls. And at the end of his game, he came over and said, or as the rumor goes, he came over and said, "Nice game, Mike." The next day, Michael came out and had one of his best games ever. He told his teammates that he was going to score as many points as LaBradford Smith scored in that game just in the first half alone. And he fell 1 point shy of that. Later on, and if you watch the documentary, again, spoiler alert here, so close your ears if you don't want to hear this, Michael made it up. Never happened. LaBradford Smith never came over and said that to him, but Michael wanted an edge. And we all need to play that way. We need to play our game with an edge. And if you don't have an edge, if there's not something that's pushing you, make it up. Right? That's one of the takeaways I got, is that he would find an excuse to have an edge against his opponent, even if he had to make it up completely, just so that he could get into the right mindset of, I have to win this game. I have to win this championship. And that's really a killer attitude mentality. The fourth one here is that you have to have the right teammates. So, I will age myself a bit here, but I was only 3 months old when the Bulls were winning their 3rd championship and Michael Jordan was getting ready to retire. So I didn't get a chance to see them play, in person back in the 90s. But I knew the stories, right? Everybody knows who Dennis Rodman is. And I only knew Dennis Rodman as the Dennis Rodman of the Bulls. I didn't even realize he had played on other teams beforehand until, more recently. But Dennis Rodman, everybody needs a Dennis Rodman. You need somebody who's willing to do the stuff that no one else wants to do. You've got to have someone who's willing to go out there and get 20 rebounds, score 0 points, and dive on the floor for every loose ball. You need someone like that on your team. You can't have only Michael Jordans, or you will never get anything done. You have to have these players like Dennis Rodman or like a Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, what made him so great was he knew that he could be a great player, a top 5 player maybe in the NBA, at the time, but he also realized I'm not as good as Michael Jordan, so I'm going to be the best number 2 player that has ever been. And you need someone like that on your team as well. And you also need someone like a Steve Kerr or a John Paxson. Those guys knew their role. They never really had great careers statistics-wise, but Steve Kerr has 5 championships, 3 with the Bulls, 2 with the Spurs as a player. Now he coaches the Golden State Warriors, where he's coached 3 more championships. This is a guy who was undersized, had really no business playing basketball with Michael Jordan talent-wise. But he just accepted his role. He knew that for him to have success, he had to be the perfect role player. And you need someone like that on your team too. The 5th takeaway here is that the right coach matters. You have to have a coach. You have to have someone telling you these are the moves you need to make. This is the game plan we're going to put forward. But it has to be the right coach. Michael arguably had his best couple of seasons when he was coached by Doug Collins in the late 1980s. He had a season where he scored 37 points per game, and the next season he scored 35 points per game. But the Bulls got beat by the Pistons in the playoffs. Michael was already considered the best player in the league at that time. Only a couple years into the league, he was considered the best. But his coach couldn't get him over the hump. They couldn't make it work. They didn't jive in the right ways. And the interesting thing about that is Michael loved Doug Collins, loved him. He was angry when Doug Collins got fired and Jerry Krause hired Phil Jackson, which as you look back now, it's hard to imagine anyone being upset with the hiring of Phil Jackson, considering he's the all-time winningest head coach ever. And he's actually won more championships than over 50% of the seasons he coached, he won a championship in, which is pretty difficult to do. So you got to have the right coach for you. You have to have someone who can take your skill set and adapt it to the business that you're in and adapt it to your goals so that you can reach that next level, even if it hurts. Even if it hurts for you to identify a new coach, sometimes that's what you have to do to get to the next level.
And Jordan, we just got a minute or two to wrap up here.
Yep, and the last takeaway here for me is that you have to be willing to push your teammates. And you know what was really cool to me was towards the end of the documentary, you see Michael tearing up, talking about his mentality playing the game of basketball and how he pushed so many people. And a lot of times he did it in ways that if you said that to your coworker, you'd get punched in the face, right? And he had some physical confrontations with teammates. But at the end of it, the reason that he was able to do that and the reason that worked for him is because he wanted success so bad, and he wanted to bring everyone with him to the success that he had experienced. He knew what it was like to win, so he knew that he had to push people in ways that were going to make them feel very uncomfortable in order for them to get to that next level. And sometimes we have to do that with our teammates. We have to tell our teammates things that are tough for them to hear, because that's what's going to get them to the next level. So we've got to decide, what type of player are we going to be on our team? Are we Michael? Are we Scotty? Are we Dennis Rodman? You know, we have to identify our correct role, and we have to accept that role, and not only accept it, but we have to say, I'm going to be the best in this role that there has ever been. Dennis Rodman was undersized. He was about 6'7", maybe 6'8", and he's arguably the greatest rebounder of all time. He was playing against guys who were 5-6 inches taller than him, and he would out-rebound them because he just made a commitment to being the absolute best at that role. And you have to know that you're going to go through some failure here. Michael Jordan the rumor was he was cut from his high school basketball team. We know that's not really true. What really happened was the varsity spot was not given to him. It was given to Leroy Smith. Any of you remember watching Leroy Smith play basketball? I doubt it, because he never played in the NBA. He never really made it to do anything. But yet his spot was given to him over Michael Jordan. And that was one of the very first things that Michael held as a grudge. And he said, I'm going to make sure that this coach regrets that decision. And you've got to have that mentality. You know, if someone doesn't want to do business with you, your mentality should be, I want them to come back to me in a year and say, I wish I would have done business with you. And that's the type of mentality Michael had. And I think if we all adopt some of that mentality, we'll all have extreme success in what we're doing.
Great. Jordan, thank you very much. That was, that was awesome. Cody, are you going to take us to our breakout rooms? We can't hear you, Cody. I'm not sure what happened to your voice. I'll take him there if you want.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Tim's going to bring us back with a memorial to Memorial Day, or a contribution for Memorial Day. So we have 8 minutes in the breakout rooms. Be cognizant of who's in there. Just you're about being wildly profitable and being bold about the customers, clients, patients that you need. Kristen, take us there, and we'll come back in 8 minutes. Smoothies. Think smoothies.